This is a barn in the Essex countryside, and in a few short months it's going to be where every present day production product gets built, tested and shipped from.
We moved here to School Farm Estates at the start of the year. Most people, when they look to expand their business, rent a bigger unit on an industrial estate and drive to work. But we did something different.
And we want to tell you why, because the thinking behind it has a lot to do with how we believe a small company like ours competes with the big boys.
We are true believers that you become the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with, and that building strong relationships with those who have achieved incredible things greatly increases the chance that you will too. And so we've moved ourselves, our business, the cat, and everything to School Farm Estates in North Essex. And one of the key reasons for choosing this location is this man right here, Andrew Sunnucks, co-founder and chairman of Audio Network, the largest independent music label in Europe, the most prolific orchestral music producer of all time, with over 4,000 sessions at Abbey Road Studios alone under his belt, and a man who has the vision to turn spaces like this into spaces like this. School Farm Studios, one of the finest studios in the UK, with an incredible acoustic, the finest instruments, the best of the best in gear, and the most incredibly talented and utterly lovely team of people we have ever worked with.
Until a few months ago, James and I had a combined commute of about an hour and a half every day. And if you do the maths on that, that's about 3 weeks out of every year. And it wasn't a fun journey where you could have productive time or enjoy yourself. It was just stuck in traffic every day. Now that commute time has been drastically reduced. Let me drive you home.
God, the traffic was awful.
But I didn't need to stop for a wee on the way. I think we can probably walk that.
The business we run now needs a very different building to the one we've occupied for the last 10 years. In the autumn of 2023, we took on a second unit that enabled us to move speaker production out of the studio and into a dedicated space. But now we've outgrown it, and when we started looking at how to scale our business, the obvious answer was rent a bigger unit somewhere, hire some more people, and commute to it like proper grown-ups. But the more we looked at that, the more it felt like we were solving the wrong problem.
The work we do, from music production and making content to creating physical products, doesn't really fit into a 9-to-5 shape. It happens in bursts, late evenings when an idea lands, or weekends when we're testing a new prototype, or my favourite, early mornings when everything is quiet and calm and fresh and inspiration can strike. So we asked ourselves a different question. Instead of where do we want to work, we asked ourselves where do we want to live, so that work becomes something we can do without friction.
We needed 3 things from a move: larger premises in which to scale physical production, an inspirational and creative environment in which to create content and produce music, and, of course, somewhere to live with Flop. The move to School Farm Estates ticks all 3 off that list, but there have been other advantages too.
We've already seen huge lifestyle and health benefits, both physical and mental, and James's diet now includes so much fruit and veg that he was pooping 4 times a day for the first month after moving here. And because Flop has transitioned from work cat, who lived in and around a studio in Epping, to house cat, who lives with us here, I don't have to go in and look after him 365 days a year, which means that not only can I have some proper time off, but Flop, who is already a very, very happy cat, is now a very, 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 very happy cat. But 2 business partners sharing a home isn't normal, is it? Especially for someone of James's age. What are you supposed to do? Well, you're supposed to go to school, go to uni, and then get a proper job, and then load yourself up with a massive mortgage to buy a ridiculously overpriced house that a postman would have lived in the 1930s, then get a car that you can't park anywhere near it, and have an all-inclusive holiday to the Costa del Hell once a year.
Nah, no thanks.
And we are very aware of the slightly unusual situation, as was our accountant. But while they're very good at figuring out what's on a spreadsheet, they're not so good at working out the opportunity cost of not doing something. And the level of overlap between what we're trying to build and how we actually live our lives means it makes far more sense than not. And we're not normal. We hate normal. I can't imagine anything worse than being normal.
Changing your environment for the better can have more of an impact on your business as well as your personal life than you may realise. Already, in the few short months we've been here, the proximity to school farm studios and the incredible team there has opened the doors to medieval style banquets in a 900-year-old castle, filming content at the studio for an incredible show at London's famous Royal Institution, multiple Sunday roasts with family, friends and clients, and working on new projects with some of the amazing people we've been introduced to, such as legendary composers David Tobin and Jeff Megan.
But proximity has also meant that the conversations that used to happen in WhatsApp threads now happen over breakfast, and the decisions that used to take a week of back and forth now take 10 minutes. And our differences in our business skill sets also spill over into our lives as well. For example, James isn't allowed anywhere near meal preparation.
What the fuck are you doing?
Making a ham sandwich.
Why don't you take it out of the packet?
I didn't know you could do that.
Didn't know you could do that. Fucking hell.
And quite right too, but I have ensured that finally, after 12 years of struggle, we have an incredibly fast, robust and future-proof internet connection.
So that's the why, but let us show you the what, because the move only makes sense if you can see what it actually unlocks for us, our business, and for you. There are essentially 4 spaces that matter here, and each one does a different job for the company, and each one eventually is going to be transformed into something that enables us to create better products, both physical and digital, and better content, and we're very excited for this. The single most important reason we're here is this place, the wonderful School Farm Studios. It's going to be where we film the new vodcast later in the year. We're going to be forming tons of really high quality content here. We're going to be doing a lot more workshops, the kind of which we did last year with Nick Kershaw and Phil Harding. And of course, it's always full of just lovely people and alpacas and sheep and dogs and cats and just lots of really lovely things.
And you may have noticed we've been a bit lacking on the content front over the past couple of years. Until now, every time we wanted to film something properly, due to our multifaceted business in premises that were no longer right for our requirements, it became a logistical nightmare. Clear a space, set up, shoot, pack down, set it back up for work. The friction of that meant a lot of ideas just never got made. But now, if we have an idea at 8:30 in the morning, we can be filming by 10. And the proximity to School Farm Studios not only changes what we can make, but how often we can make it. It's one of the country's finest studios with one of the finest, friendliest and most experienced engineers. And it also regularly hosts the finest musicians and performers. That elevates everything we do to a higher level. But School Farm is a busy studio, and so we also need our own space.
This is an extension on the house that was formerly a 3-bay garage and then converted into a games room by Andrew when this house became accommodation for both the studio and as Airbnb. But we don't really play games, so we're going to repurpose this room into a fantastic Dolby Atmos mixing and mastering suite in collaboration with Jesko Lohan from Acoustics Insider, who many of you will know. We've done collaboration videos with him before. This will also act as a fantastic place we can bring clients to demo our speakers, acoustic panels, subs, desks and all the other products we've got planned for this year.
This is the annex. It's a former bakehouse to the main residence, and currently this is where your mums and foundation stands get packed before they ship to you. Once the barns are renovated and the packing process moves out of here, this space will be transformed into a proper photographic and video studio, which means that in combination with the Atmos studio, the product shots, the tutorial videos and the more cinematic stuff we've been itching to make, all of that gets made on site, all set up, ready to go. No more compromise on what we can capture.
And then there are the barns and the new commute, which has gone from 90 minutes to 90 seconds if you walk and go the long way round. This is what the workshop currently looks like. Yep, I know. Now there've been a few delays with planning permission, but assuming that lands as expected, the builder should be in next month, and then we can turn this into this.
There are 3 barns in total. The first one becomes goods in, packaging and dispatch, so everything coming in from suppliers and everything going out to customers flows through one dedicated space. The second becomes assembly, which is where every speaker actually gets built. And the third becomes final testing, with an office and a dedicated video editing suite for me, and precision testing rig for our loudspeakers. And there's a thread that runs through all of this, and it's worth noting. Most small companies, when they grow, end up with workspaces that are purely functional. Cheap, practical, but slightly grim. We've taken a different view. The spaces you work in shape the work you do. If we want to build beautiful products and make beautiful content, then we need to do it in spaces that reflect that, even though it costs more and takes longer. Whether that's a good business decision or a slightly mad one, ask us in 18 months.
But one last thing about the location, which is worth mentioning because it's already changing how we work with clients. A lot of our clients are in Europe, and we're only 30 minutes away from Stansted Airport, which means that a client in Berlin or Stockholm can fly in for the day or stay overnight in ensuite accommodation here at the house, with School Farm Studios only 5 minutes away. And once the Atmos suite is finished, a proper demo room on site. And that's not something most speaker companies can offer. Fly in, hear the products in a real room, and actually see how they're made with the barns only over there. And we think that level of access is going to matter more and more as people get tired of buying expensive things from companies they've never actually spoken to.
We're also easier to reach by public transport. Braintree station is just a few minutes down the road, taking around 45 minutes to reach by train from Liverpool Street in London. Our old HQ in Epping, despite being closer to central London, was actually over an hour away by train. We've got a lot of hard work to do over the next few months, and so in the meantime, where can you meet us and where can you see and hear our products?
Well, it's funny you should say that, because there's GearExpo, which was formerly GearFest, and it's in London again this June. Now, we're going to be there with the full range, the mum monitors, the new subs, which we're already taking pre-orders for, and hopefully a few things we haven't talked about publicly yet that we'll be demoing on the stand. Exciting.
Yes. If you've been following the channel for a while and you've been curious about how the speakers actually sound, then this is the easiest way to find out. You can come to our room at GearExpo, you can listen properly, ask whatever questions you want, and we'll be there for the duration of the show. That's Mark and myself in person, not a sales team.
Nope.
All the practical details are in the description down below. The date, the venue, and how to find us. And we hope to see you there.
Yeah, that'd be good. Moving to the Essex countryside to grow our business is probably a slightly mad thing to do, and moving in with your business partner is an even madder thing to do. But the best things usually are, and we can't wait to embrace the new opportunities this opens up for us, and we can't wait to share those with you. So thanks so much for watching, and you'll see us in the next one.